Guys, I'm back for another video and it's time for my Royal Rumble review. Every time I've tried to do that on the outtake, it's kind of come out as Royal Rumble, which isn't good. I'm seriously tired. I've been up since like 6:30 this morning, so obviously I did like the early shift of work today, so I'm absolutely exhausted. So if this video is more of a ramble than normal, then please forgive me. Did anyone else feel really underwhelmed by this pay-per-view? Because like I was really looking forward to it, and this always seems to be the case. When I'm really looking forward to a pay-per-view, I tend to find that it's really like, you know, I was looking forward to the Rumble match, you know, Punk and Ziggler, you know, I was kind of looking forward to the triple threat cage match. I realised that in my SmackDown review I completely forgot about Cena and Kane, which shows you how much I was not looking forward to that match. But I just, like, literally just finished watching this pay-per-view, and I just feel like really, what was that? That literally is like the feeling that I've kind of been left with, which is really disappointing for the Royal Rumble. Now, I'll kind of talk about this in order, but obviously to start with I have to say Sheamus. Like, really? Sheamus? Like, I mean, I know everyone has kind of been predicting either Orton or Jericho, so maybe it's like a good thing that, you know, that WWE kind of surprised us, but Sheamus, I know he's been in the main event and stuff, but I just don't really see him as a proper main eventer, if you know what I mean, and I'm not really that interested in, you know, like, to me, like, him winning is not making me, like, look forward to WrestleMania at all, because I'm like, he's going to be in the main event. I don't know what it is about Sheamus. Don't get me wrong, I like him. He's a good wrestler, but he's just not enough of a draw to, you know, make me think, wow, this match is going to be, you know, like, really good. I don't know what it is. I know a lot of people, I've seen a lot of people are really pleased about this, and they're like, oh, you know, it's such a big surprise, you know, we're really happy that it happened, but I was literally just sat there, me and my dad was cheering, because, you know, anyone who I don't want to win, he wants. That's just always the way it is, so I was there like, come on, Jericho, you know, and then, like, Dad was like, you know, yes, Sheamus, and then Sheamus won, and I was like, you are joking. But, you know, anyway, I'm going to talk about the whole show, you know, because I actually got time to actually do a decent review, because normally I'm, like, really rushed if I do, like, pay-per-view reviews on the same day. But, you know, I'm doing this. So, it was weird to have the triple threat cage match as the first match of the show. I don't know what it is about having title matches first. Like, when they had, like, you know, Alberto Del Rio versus Edge first at WrestleMania last year. Very bizarre. I know they didn't have very much of an undercard this year, though. I can't talk. They didn't have very much of an undercard this year, though. So that's probably why, you know, they went on first. But anyway, triple threat, Daniel Bryan, Mark Henry, Big Show. Obviously, following on from SmackDown, you know, we kind of knew that Mark Henry was injured, so I was pretty sure that he wasn't really going to play too much of a part in this match, and that's true. He was pretty much just lying on the floor for, like, the whole match. He got, like, you know, attacked by Big Show straight away, like, ran into, like, the cage, so that pretty much took him out of the action. It meant he didn't really need to do that much. It just literally, the whole match, well, I can say the whole match, it was literally about like 8 minutes long, something like that. I didn't do an exact timing, but it was literally no more than about 10 minutes long, which is weird for a title match. It's just, yeah, Daniel Bryan trying to escape, Big Show stopping him. Yeah, Henry Big Show hits the WWE, he hits the WMD on Henry, so that just pretty much, you know, takes Henry out of the match. And then Big Show and Daniel Bryan are on top of the cage, and Daniel Bryan's trying to get down, but obviously, you know, he's kind of dangling, you know, Big Show's like holding on to him, like literally Bryan's like being held on by Big Show's hands, and then he just kind of like falls, and that's it. Then, you know, he escapes and wins, and it was a bit like, was that meant to happen? Because it just seemed like a really kind of lame ending to the title match, and wasn't really that like interesting. I thought it was going to be some, yeah, I don't even know what I was expecting, to be honest, but I was not expecting that ending. So, you know, and just, there still is hardly any reaction for Daniel Bryan. Like, maybe it's just me, but when he like entered, it was like really, like, you know, quiet. Fair enough, there were a lot of Daniel Bryan chants, like, during the actual match, but, like, to start with, it was just, like, pretty flat reaction for him, really. So, disappointing opening match, and yeah, that's just put me off that feud now. I'm really not interested in Daniel Bryan and Big Show anymore. But, you know, so then we had the Divas match, so I was thinking, because they're only going to have, like, 3 matches before the Rumble. This is probably going to be, you know, like a really short pay-per-view. But obviously, you know, because we haven't seen Beth, I said on my last video, didn't I? Did I say we haven't seen Beth Phoenix for, like, absolutely ages? So it was, like, an 8-diva tag team match of Beth Phoenix, Natalya, and the Bella Twins, so that answers my question about Beth and Natalya still being together. They obviously are. Facing Kelly, Alicia Fox, even Tamina. Tamina just looks so weird as a face. She honestly doesn't fit in there. The usual Diva match. Honestly, it wasn't the worst Divas match I've seen. Honestly, it wasn't the worst, but then it was nowhere near the best. They all fight each other, you know. I'm not even going to talk about it that much detail. Kelly, you know, fair enough in like a match where, you know, everybody's facing each other, someone dives off the top rope and knocks them all over, like in Money in the Bank. But when like 3 of the people in the group are your team, it just seems a bit weird, you know. Kelly dived off the top rope like a crossbody and like took everybody out. And then we went back in the ring, and yeah, Kelly was in the ring with one of the Bella twins. Phoenix is a beast. She just went to tag herself in, but rather than just tapping her, she proper slapped one of the Bella twins on the back, which was hilarious. And then she hit the glam slam on Beth. Yeah, she glam slammed herself. She glam slammed Kelly for the win. So the heels got the win. So yeah, nice to see Beth, you know, actually doing something again. Because like I say, she hasn't been on TV for absolutely ages. I'm hoping this camera angle is okay, because I'm worried that it's either not recording or you actually can't see me. But you know, I'm sure it's fine. Like I say, tired, horrible face today, not good. So then we had John Cena versus Kane, and I get a text message, as I always do when I'm filming. So John Cena versus Kane, like I say, I wasn't really looking forward to this match, to be honest. I don't even know what to say about this match, to be honest. It was weird. You know, it was all right to start with. You know, John Cena, Kane, like Kane was, you know, like kind of the well, not the favourite to win this bit. Like, you know, he was the one that everyone wanted anyway. So he got the cheers. Cena got booed. Cena was booed quite badly in this. I probably say this all the time, but you know, like some places he gets booed more than others. But it was more of a negative reaction towards Cena in this arena. Yeah, he goes for the five-knuckle shuffle, but it gets countered into, well, Kane tries to hit the choke slam, but that fails as well. Cena manages to hit the five-knuckle shuffle from the top. He goes to the actual adjustment, but it gets countered, and then they start brawling, and they both, it's like a double count out, and it's like, ugh, what is a double count out at the moment? So, yeah, they fight backstage. Kane does actually hit Cena with some, you know, I shouldn't talk today, I honestly can't talk. Kane manages to hit Cena with some quite nice chair shot, is what I was trying to say, but then obviously he's like backstage, and Zack Ryder's locker room's there. Oh, not locker room, it's not his locker room, it's just like his room. And obviously he's in a wheelchair because of what happened on Raw, but then Kane breaks the door down and like goes after Ryder and, you know, chokes him out. Then he wheels him back to the ring and he hits a tombstone pile driver on him. That was actually quite like an evil grin though that Kane did, because Eve was in the ring as well, like pleading, you know, for him not to do that, and he does like this evil grin and hit Zack Ryder with the tombstone pile driver. Cena came back to try and save Ryder, but he failed and got a choke slam for his trouble. So maybe it's a good, you know, it's obviously this feud isn't ending at the moment, but it's like, how many more weeks of abuse on TV is Zack Ryder actually going to take? You know, he's been like destroyed like 2 weeks, you know, in a row, and now he's just been like tombstone pile driven by Kane while he's in a wheelchair. Yeah, so I don't really know where they're exactly going with this storyline now. It was getting good, and then that match was just kind of strange. Obviously, I know it's like building towards this whole like Cena thing. He's obviously gonna, you know, but why would he, like, you know, surely he's just gonna hate Kane more because he's like taken his friend out, and it's, you know, I don't know. It was weird. Not the kind of ending that I was expecting, but then to be honest, I wasn't really expecting either one of them to win, so maybe that is what I was expecting. Who knows? Anyway, I'm going to stop talking now. Then we just had the random match, Drew McIntyre versus Brodus Clay. Drew gets destroyed again. Does that sound like, you know, that, did everyone think that was going to happen? Yes, because, you know, it happened, because Drew doesn't win any matches anymore. He just gets squashed all the time. So, yeah, Brodus wins with the splash, or the what the funk, as the move is called. And then we had the WWE Championship match. Now, this was my favourite match, honestly. Like, until it got to kind of like the ending, like with all the kind of stuff of like Laurinaitis, this match was really good. I've said it to you guys so many times that I think Ziggler is really good. He's a really good worker. He's improved so much. You know, obviously CM Punk is awesome anyway. So these guys, I was expecting a really good match, and they honestly did put on a really good match for the most part. John Laurinaitis says at the start that he's not actually going to be the official in the ring. He's going to officiate from like the outside, you know, so that he doesn't kind of get involved and end up like screwing someone. But he banishes Vicky from ringside, because I'd actually forgotten that, you know, the fact that because Punk beat Swagger a couple of weeks ago, it meant that Swagger and Vicky were banned from ringside. I had forgotten that, so, you know, at least he kind of did that. I like Ziggler's, like, you know, multiple elbows, where he just does like 10 or 11 elbows in a row, but he didn't do the whole, like, you know, put or sit up thing this time, so I was like, oh, lame. But yeah, they kind of go for their like finishing moves quite early, but these guys, because they know each other quite well, they counter a lot, you know, which is quite cool. CM Punk hits a really nice powerbomb on Ziggler. Like, honestly, check that powerbomb out. It was like really good. Does his usual high knee and bulldog, but he goes for the GTS and it gets countered. Ziggler tries to cheat and gets a pin using the tights, but again, that doesn't work either. Countering each other's like finishing moves constantly. Punk hits the elbow drop, but then he goes for the GTS, but Ziggler pushes Punk into the ref, so obviously the ref's knocked out. And this is like when the kind of like, you know, all the extra kind of unnecessary, I know it's fueling like the storyline, obviously, because of like Laurinaitis' job evaluation thing on Raw tonight. But yeah, he pushed him into the ref, so, you know, Laurinaitis is checking on the ref on the outside, so, you know, Punk locks Ziggler in the outside device. He starts tapping, but, you know, there's no ref to see that. Again, you know, he gets the pin, but, you know, still, again, there's, like, no ref to count that either. Then he goes for the GTS again on Ziggler, and obviously as he kind of spins Ziggler around, Ziggler's legs catch Laurinaitis, which knocks him out of the ring. So, you know, Punk gets the pin then as well, but Laurinaitis doesn't come in the ring and doesn't count. So Punk's getting pretty fed up. And then he goes for the GTS again, but, you know, Ziggler counters it into, like, the famous move, and everyone's like, whoa, you know, because obviously everyone thought that, you know, Punk was just going to kind of win quite easily after that. But, you know, that only gets a 2 count, so that was a bit like, oh, you know, because I wasn't bothered who won this one, honestly, because I like both these guys. But then Punk hits another GTS, you know, like total like overuse of like, you know, the GTS, and he actually gets the win. But then John Laurinaitis kind of comes in the ring and like does the count with the ref that's in the ring for like the second and third count, which is a bit weird, and you know, it's kind of applauding Punk and then hands him like the title, and it's all very strange. So we're obviously going to see what actually happens with that, like on Raw, and obviously whether Laurinaitis will keep his job. It would be very weird on Raw now without Laurinaitis, but you know, who knows what's going to happen. So, I don't know how long I've been rambling for. I can't even see past the thing. Oh, good. Oh, I've still got 10 minutes to talk. Marvellous. I need to sit on my foot because I can't sit comfortably else. Anyway, so now we move on to the Royal Rumble match. And obviously, like I said in my last video, I had like 4 guys who I thought was going to win. It was either going to be Jericho, it was going to be Orton, it was going to be Cody Rhodes, or Wade Barrett. You know, I wasn't sure which one, but I thought it was definitely going to be one of those. So when Sheamus won, I was like, huh? You know, I mean, like, out of all those guys that they had, even, like, Miz and that, and then, did Sheamus, like, really? I mean, he's been feuding with friggin' Jinder Mahal for, like, the last 2 months. Why is he winning the Royal Rumble? That makes absolutely no sense. But, you know, maybe he'll, like, change my mind by the time the Royal Rumble gets here, but that was, like, such a letdown, seriously. Like, after such a promising, you know, Rumble that I had been really looking forward to, I was just like, nah. Call me, you know, Mona, say that I'm all, like, you know, boring, you know, I'm not all for, like, you know, new kind of wrestlers being pushed. It's not that at all. It was just Sheamus, really, and after all the build of, like, Jericho and that, and it meant to be, like, the end of the world as we know it, and then, like, nothing happened, and it was like, oh, let down. But anyway, this year's Rumble felt like it was really lacking some star power. I don't know, because until it kind of got to, like, you know, who would it have been? I don't even know what number to say, really. Like, Ziggler was in it, you know, because like I said, I wasn't sure if he was going to be in it. He was number 18. So, yeah, like, Sheamus didn't come until, like, number 22. I mean, they had, like, Miz and Cody Rhodes in, like, numbers 1 and 4. But, like, in the middle, like, between all that, it was either, like, jobber people or, like, announcers and stuff, or people that you just blatantly knew weren't going to win. So it just really felt this year like they were really, like, stuck for, like, wrestlers. Because, I mean, you think if they're missing, like, Del Rio, they're missing Christian. Like, obviously Mark Henry wasn't in it, John Cena wasn't in it, they could have had Kane, but he wasn't in it, and then obviously Punk and Daniel Bryan are, like, the champions. They were obviously in, like, last year's, they weren't in it, so it was amazing, like, how really, like, lacking this, like, show was, and, like, for, like, surprise, like, returns and stuff. I mean, they had, like, Road Dogg, which was quite cool. Obviously, I know he was at, like, the Slammy thing, so obviously he was there, and they had Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Yeah, like, he's gonna win. And obviously, like, Mick Foley, but he got eliminated really early, so it felt like all that kind of, like, build to getting him in there was kind of essentially worthless. You know, and this doesn't sound like I'm, like, being, like, really negative, but, like, Royal Rumble is, like, one of my favourite pay-per-views, and this year it was just, like, ugh, really horrible. So obviously, yeah. We had Miz, Alex Riley, R-Truth, Cody Rhodes, Justin Gabriel, Primo, Mick Foley, Ricardo Rodriguez. Right, now this Rumble did actually have some good comedy moments. Like, honestly, that was hilarious, because everyone thought it was, like, Del Rio coming back, and then it was, like, this really, like, awful car that came out, and, like, with this terrible sounding horn. And it's, like, there, Ricardo, like, trying to do, like, Del Rio's entrance, which was absolutely hilarious, you know. And the fact that, you know, he actually came in and, like, you know, helped to, like, eliminate somebody, and honestly, it was, like, really funny. Ricardo Rodriguez is brilliant. And then, obviously, Santino and, like, Mick Foley were in there together, obviously, Cobra versus Miss Socko, which, again, you know, was quite funny, and he actually, Santino eliminated Rodriguez by, like, giving him a wedgie and chucking him over the top rope, and it was like, what? But, you know, that was quite funny. Then, yeah, so obviously, because, you know, this year they said, we were kind of questioning what they meant by, you know, like, lots of people, you know, anyone is eligible to enter. And, of course, it ended up being that Jerry Lawler, Michael Cole, and Booker T were all in it. Booker T and Lawler, fair enough, but when Michael Cole came in, I was like, you are joking. You could have used that, you know, for somebody else, anybody else. But, yeah, not good. But But there was a good thing about the Rumble. Wasn't Kharma freaking awesome? Right, I wasn't expecting her to come back. Like, I had no idea, you know, so I was thinking, has it really been, you know, that long? But I suppose, because it was, like, back in May that she announced her pregnancy, and that's, like, what, like 8 months ago now? So, obviously, she would have probably been pregnant, obviously, before that she announced that. So, it's likely she could have had a baby and stuff, but yeah, that I honestly wasn't expecting that. So when her music hit, I was like, man, this is awesome, you know, and obviously she kind of like eliminated like Michael Cole with like the help of Lawler and Booker T, and then she actually hit a finishing move on like Ziggler, which was like awesome as well. I'm so happy Kharma's back. Seriously, when she came like last year, I was like, wow, this is awesome, and obviously was really gutted, you know, that she had to kind of leave again, but you know, that was really cool. Ziggler eliminated her, which was like really like, but yeah, no, she is really cool, and obviously this is probably going to be leading to like, you know, Beth Phoenix versus Kharma, which should be quite a good feud. Yeah, so then obviously Randy Orton came out, he was like number 28, because it got to like the last 5, and I was thinking, they haven't even, you know, had like Randy Orton and like Jericho yet, or like Wade Barrett. They kind of obviously came in, and then it got to like, you know, number 30, and it was Big Show, and it was like, oh man, that's a letdown. Like, you know, all this anticipation, who's it going to be, and then it's like Big Show, you just think, wow, that was lame. I was expecting maybe some surprise person and could have returned or anything, you know, but that didn't happen, obviously. And then I was quite surprised, you know, I thought maybe Randy Orton and Jericho were going to be the last 2, obviously, because I thought, you know, one of them 2 was going to win. And then obviously Orton ended up getting eliminated along with Big Show. They were like part of the final 4, so it ended up just being Jericho and Sheamus. I feel like I'm talking quite a lot about this match, but you know, it's a Royal Rumble, so I'm allowed to spend a lot of time talking about one match. This is probably one giant ramble, and I'm probably not following any kind of, you know, like train of thought. I don't care. So it was those 2, you know, I suppose. And it's quite good, you know, that they had like 2 people, and like Jericho and Sheamus were like the last 2, obviously, and they were in the ring for quite a long time together, like on their own. Like sometimes with Royal Rumbles, you find that like the last kind of, you know, bit, that it's not meant, like last year's obviously was really different having Santino in there, because everyone was just like, what? No way, that is not going to happen. But you know, they actually, you know, fought. It was quite close, you know. I mean, I really was sitting there like, come on Jericho, come on Jericho. So obviously, yeah. But then in the end, Jericho got eliminated. You know, he was like kind of on the apron on the outside, and like Sheamus hit the bro kick to knock him off. I haven't actually mentioned Kofi Kingston yet. That was impressive. I always like the, you know, the ways that people are like inventive to kind of, you know, stop their feet from hitting the floor, because I think John Morrison, was it John Morrison? He like leaped and like kind of like clung onto like the barricade and then had to like jump back onto the steps. But Cody got eliminated, and he was literally on his hands and was like, you know, like walking on his hands like across like the floor until he got back to like the ring steps. That was quite cool. I haven't seen that before, so I was quite impressed by that. But yeah, no, anyway, that kind of like ruined my little talk about, you know, how the Royal Rumble actually ended. So yeah, Sheamus won, and then nothing happened, and it was like, oh, let's all point to the WrestleMania sign, because we all do that every year. Yeah, it was just really underwhelming, and I feel like that was a massive rant. So I really do apologise if that's like, this has seemed like a really negative kind of rant. But you know, it wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen, honestly, not by a long shot. It wasn't like the worst thing I've ever seen, but it wasn't really that great either. There have been like far better Rumbles, you know, that I can remember. So yeah, hopefully I've kind of covered everything. I think I have. I haven't missed anybody else out, you know, interesting that came in. And oh, Great Khali's back, just for those of you guys, you know, that wanted to know that. Yeah, that's pretty much like all else I have to say. So yeah, underwhelming Royal Rumble. Never mind, I'll watch Raw again tonight, and we'll see what happens on that. Obviously, if they can keep Raw and SmackDown up to the standard that it's been lately, then you know that's fine. But I was just like, oh. And obviously Elimination Chamber's in like 3 weeks time, which is like really short build. I know that will obviously give like a long time, like another 6 weeks or so until like WrestleMania, but it's just like, oh, you know, because Elimination Chamber is quite an important pay-per-view. So I know I suppose it's just tradition for them to always do WrestleMania like on the very first Sunday in April, but if they like bumped it like back a little bit, you know, and then it actually had like a decent space between like Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber, then it would be quite good, but they never do that. I don't think they'll listen to me and take on my idea. Anyway, no, I really need to stop talking now because it's actually getting really late, and I need to like eat some food and do like exercise DVD and have a shower. And go to bed because I've got to get up again at 6:30 for work tomorrow. So anyway, thanks for watching this video. Leave your comments and thoughts below about the Royal Rumble. Say whether you liked it, whether you agree with me that you felt it was underwhelming, or whether you actually just like really hated it, because I know some people out there have said it's like the worst thing they've ever seen. I'm not quite that bad. I haven't been that negative about it. But you know, anyway, so yeah, please leave your comments, thoughts below. And yeah, I will be back on Wednesday for my Raw review. So thanks for watching, and see you guys next time. Bye.